Okay, for real, I really don't. I don't know how to handle this. We gotta make this a little smaller. That's okay. I think that's good. Let's move this baby to the back. Okay, for real, I really don't. Alright. Move this guy to the back. Alright. We got our videos playing. Alright. Let's do some ADD shit. ADD stream multitasking. Here we go. A little bit this way. I like that. You know what? I like that. I hate to, make you guys watch Majority Report here, but we're gonna clown on some folks tonight, because Blackout Network, they put in they made out a good video. Like, what if Jimmy Dore didn't exist? And would we have the same problems that we're facing now with all the disagreements, all the disalignment, if just Jimmy Dore just wasn't a person? And I've actually had that thought many times before. But they're still going on about him.
Matt Bender did a little bit of an investigative report, we could call it, on some suspicious activity on social media that you observed, and we can always count on you for a deep dive. And this one is particularly fun because Jimmy Dore may or may not have a sock puppet Twitter account that exclusively basically defends Jimmy Dore from criticism.
Are you serious?
I tweeted a comment about a Jimmy Dore clip that the Surfs posted on their Twitter account on Monday.
Of course.
And I totally thought nothing of it after I tweeted it. We're now almost 2 days later, and I receive a reply to the tweet. And the reply says, let me pull it up on the screen here. Jimmy literally says, I'm for the mural. And again, this is talking about that local news clip that showed these parents engaging in an anti-LGBTQ and satanic panic type thing, even saying there's witchcraft imagery, satanic imagery in this mural, harassing this teen girl to tears, or the girl who created it. So this Twitter account says, this Twitter account, Two Coats is their name, and their Twitter username is @libtard01. Jimmy literally says, I'm for the mural, showing support for the teen girl and her artwork. He's against canceling Halloween, which is why he says both sides. I get you hate Jimmy, but can you just one time tell the truth about what he's saying instead of clipping and twisting it?
Just one
and I'm
time.
like, whoa, this tweet, this reply to my tweet's getting a lot of attention for just a random reply. And so I check out who this person is, and they're really just a nobody, which is fine, but...
All right, can you pause it just for 1 second? Just keep it up. Matt, after I watched this video last night, I went to @libtard01, and I saw that one Sam Cedar has chosen to follow
right now.
@libtard01.
Right, yeah, he's following him now.
I was like, it was just like the only person I know that mutually follows @libtard01 is now Sam, which is just what makes Sam
Why is it on
Right.
see you. So,
Right.
yeah, keep going.
Followers.
Matt Bender did a little bit of a
Followers. Their Twitter account seems to solely be Jimmy Dore and then tweeting out Dore tweet anti-E. Replies
Oh, I know those people.
defending Jimmy Dore. There they are sharing a video attacking Sam Cedar's criticisms of Jimmy Dore. There we go, another Jimmy Dore tweet. Anti-Ukraine. See, there's some more COVID conspiracy theories. More Jimmy Dore promotion, more Jimmy Dore promotion, more Jimmy Dore promotion. It's really just an account almost solely defending Jimmy Dore and then tweeting out pretty much the same sort of content that Jimmy Dore talks about in his show, which again, fine, maybe it's a Jimmy Dore fan. But I was struck by the interest this random reply to an almost 2-day-old tweet got. And then I check. And the first person who retweeted it is Jimmy Dore. Now I'm thinking, that's weird, but maybe, no, look. There's no Jimmy Dore tag. He doesn't tag at Jimmy Dore in this tweet. No, he doesn't.
I am.
That's fine. Maybe Jimmy Dore is a name searcher. I mean, that's really lame. You know, people who go on Twitter and search their name, without the at, in hopes of finding people, like, sub-tweeting them. Whatever you think of it, at least that would explain how Jimmy Dore found it, and that would solve that mystery. Nothing more there.
I'm gonna play
Look at the
Apocalypse
tweet.
and I'm fucked.
Jimmy literally says, he refers to Jimmy Dore again, but he just says, I get you hate Jimmy. He never says Jimmy
Let's see how
Dore
it goes.
to find this tweet. You would think
There's the Apocalypse.
just Jimmy. And let's just do that. There's probably gonna be some vulgar stuff, maybe. Who knows?
Yep.
But let's just search Jimmy.
This is
on Twitter.
investigative
And let's
journalism,
pick
Hinder.
latest.
There you go. Yeah.
Jimmy VC, hey, that's about the Rangers.
We're looking at 5
There you go.
tweets with the.
So they picked a random Jimmy Dore account. That we're 5 minutes in. I'm really trying to understand. We're already 5 minutes in, and they're talking about a sock account. Where they've provided zero evidence. Zero
Jimmy in a
evidence.
5-second time span. Let's refresh this. Brand new tweets coming in just a span of seconds.
So many hockey tweets.
There you go.
Good
There's
for my
some more
agenda.
tweets coming in. So I'm really questioning what's going on here. So then I look at. Let me pull this up here. Let me pull. I look at my replies, and now I can't tell the exact time Jimmy Dore retweeted it, but I can see when the first person replied to Jimmy Dore's retweet, because it includes me, that Twitter account with the 55 followers, and it would include at Jimmy Dore, because they'd be replying to Jimmy Dore's retweet. And so the original tweet from at libtard01 with the 55 followers was posted at 7:38 p.m. October 25th. That's right now. That's today. Just a few hours ago. 7:38 p.m. And the first person replying to Jimmy Dore's retweet comes in almost right away at 7:41 p.m. So that means Jimmy Dore retweeted this 55 follower Twitter account who did not at him, who did not even type p.m. October 25th. That's right now. That's today. Just a few hours ago. 7:38 p.m. And the first person replying to Jimmy Dore's retweet comes in almost right away at 7:41 p.m. So that means Jimmy Dore retweeted this 55 follower Twitter account who did not at him, who did not even type the words Jimmy Dore in their tweet, so you could find it if you search for the search term Jimmy Dore on Twitter. Jimmy Dore retweeted that tweet because I don't know, that's when someone replied to his retweet of the 55 follower tweet. So sometime within the 3-minute span that libtard01 tweeted this at me, Jimmy Dore found it and retweeted it within 3 minutes of this tweet being posted. And I really think I got.
So, as far as I understand Jimmy's Twitter behavior, this is really loud. I really, yeah, no, majority of Matt Binder is the fucking worst out of all of them. I fucking hate Matt Binder. Fuck Matt Binder. This fucking scummy little ass. Oh, yo, thank you. Yeah, I think I've had 100 subs for a while, actually. But it's nice. 3-digit. But I'm really trying to understand, because, I mean, Jimmy, from what I understand, he just goes back to he looks at the replies on his tweets. It's not like he doesn't get a notification when someone replies to his tweets. I mean, I'm sure he has like different notification settings. But regardless, like why? So a retweet, one retweet, is evidence that Jimmy Dore is running this sock puppet account, and he has these bots that are basically supporting him. Okay. I fucked up. Not paying attention. I'm still gonna win. Watch. I'm still going to win. Yeah. Oh, bro, just watch this. Just watch this. Wait. Yeah. Dunk. Get dunk. An apocalypse.
Gotta give Jimmy Dore the benefit of the doubt here. Jimmy Dore might follow the guy. And even though this is a reply, Twitter's weird
You can
sometimes.
look at that.
Maybe the tweet came up and Jimmy Dore...
I am Iron Man.
What was it? Libtard award? Alright, here we go.
Victory!
See, I told you. Apocalypse wins the day. I missed a turn. Apocalypse just came on through. I'm gonna turn this volume down. It's loud as fuck. I don't... Okay. Sam Cedar follows him. That's sock puppet account.
Dore's
evidence, is it
feed.
not?
So I'm looking at the 55 followers. This guy's a big Jimmy Dore fan, so maybe Jimmy Dore is a follower of his. Let's scroll right now through all of @libtard01's tweets. Excuse me, followers. And see if Jimmy Dore's on this list. It's 55 people following him, so it shouldn't be that long. I'm looking.
The People's Party follows him.
So does Sam Cedar.
I'm looking.
Wait, and
I'm looking. No, Jimmy Dore does not follow this guy. So that begs the question.
He just did the work that I can't fucking believe I paused the video. He just did the work for me.
How the hell did Jimmy Dore find this tweet from a 55 follower account that he does not follow, that did not add him, that did not write the name in full Jimmy Dore so that it's easily searchable? How did he find this tweet within 3
It's in
minutes
his
of it being
fucking
posted
replies.
for him to retweet it to his followers?
I'm just good.
I have a theory, but I'm a real.
You stop it there. That's everything.
I have a
You know the theory. You know the theory.
well,
You know the
okay.
theory.
The thing is like my final follow-up question to this thorough investigative report here, Matt Benders. Does Jimmy Dore follow you?
He does, but my tweet was 2 days old, so
Ah.
the odds
It
of
would have to
him.
be, yeah, it would have to be he just randomly decided to check the replies of that old tweet the exact same moment that this libtard
Yeah,
01 decided
within
to
30
do it.
minutes.
Who the fuck is that guy and why doesn't he... I forgot his name. I used to know it. But how come he's never on camera and then when he is, it's like... He's just in the background. I don't understand it.
Right.
It's just too. I know people. Some people have said that. Well, he follows you, or the Surf's tweet, or your original tweet from 2 days before this say Jimmy Dore. But again, the coincidental nature of him just happening to look at this when the one pro Jimmy Dore reply comes in. Within that 3 minute span of him retweeting it, it would be the world's. Again, it's a possibility. That's why this is just a theory. I don't have any definitive proof, but it would be the world's biggest coincidence. If
Maybe it's the same producer who came up with that back.
There's so much shit going on There's inflation. There's a fucking war going on. Let's see.
Opponent snapped.
What do you snap for? Fucking. Then. My train of thought was lost now. Then you have Bryce. You have Iran. But you can take anything of importance. This is not a news channel. This is like a React channel, like a shitty React channel with like 3.
Seen misinformation that Jimmy had to fire. Maybe that's who Libtardo 1 is.
I hate to give him any credit, but this is exactly what Elon Musk was talking about with the bots. I mean, Elon Musk knows because he has them himself, allegedly. But this is just Twitter's like 50% bots apparently. I guess I underestimated him.
Well, we can neither confirm nor deny this, but that's a thorough investigation.
what's
It's just a theory. It's just a theory.
Is Jimmy in the sock puppet? They're running away from Jimmy's real
Game
record on this.
theory.
'Cause the most recent tweet is a quote tweet of Nina Turner where she says there's a difference. There's supposed to be a
there we
difference
go.
between progressives and
Okay.
liberals.
All right, I get
Libtardo
it.
1 says, well, when people tried to hold you progressives accountable, you sided with the politicians over the healthcare activists. So this is 100% a virtue signal from somebody who's showing us who she is already. Who did Jimmy Dore endorse in the fucking primary that most recently happened? Was it the homophobic freak Tulsi Gabbard who said that Medicare for All was anti-American? That's who Jimmy Dore used his platform to endorse. So Libtardo 1,
He had
if you're
on
not Jimmy Dore, I'd
AOC.
like to see what your response
he's
is to
talked
that.
that's
Libtardo
Why did
1,
you
open
undermine-
invitation to come on this show.
Yeah, call in Libtardo
Yeah,
1.
please, and just provide some verification that it's you. Well, if you call into the show, you can tweet out like, "Hey, I'm on with the Majority Report now," and then we can
I'm just
talk to
getting
you. Like,
angry now.
we'll be able to know that that's who we're speaking to.
So at this point, he was behaving this way that you just saw in this video, and they all were fine with him. So then we have to ask ourselves the question, then what's different now? If he's, like somebody said in the comments, he's saying the same thing he's been saying for years. If he's saying the same thing, what has changed? Either TYT has changed or the target. Isn't his target the same? Democrats and Republicans? Isn't his target squarely on Democrats when they're in power? Squarely on these so-called progressives? So who has changed? Has Jimmy changed? Or has there been another influence that changed the people around Jimmy?
I am Iron Man.
You get what I'm saying? If we're here, like all of them are here, and we're progressing left, what something anchors them here as he's still progressing left? Is that, or progressing? It doesn't have to be left. I just mean moving. But what made this break off? What kept people? I'm not gonna freak out. Okay, so let's see.
I really want to
see
know
what else I have here in my notes.
what if
Let's
Jimmy
read
Dore
the next
didn't
part.
exist? What if we just didn't have
Just
Jimmy
said,
Dore?
Bob.
I'm gonna come back to that.
And I'm not saying that to shit on Jimmy.
So the last question I asked is it because of it? Why do they hate him? Is it because it's his in-your-face, strictly Chicago-like demeanor?
That's
and I
cool.
would say now the answer to that question is no. This video is saying, no, that's not it. That's what this video is saying to me. He's the same. He is screaming a notch, a slight notch above than what he does now. So then let's move to the next part, which is let's just because what do we say here with Nick? We could do it either way.
Before this video, I've actually thought about
So,
this for a really long time. Because really, what's halting progress? Why can't we get people to support actual movements? Half the time, the reason is because of Jimmy Dore. I'm serious. And I'm not saying that like because it's like his fault. I'm saying it's the reaction of what he represents. And he doesn't have to like even necessarily be like kinder. It's not even him. It actually has nothing to do with Jimmy. But this atmosphere, what if would things be different? Like, could we accelerate change at a faster pace? Like, if we didn't have Jimmy as like a benchmark or like a... Oh shit, that's nice. Okay.
Let's go with what they're saying. Let's say it's abrasive is bad and all all the things they're saying. And that's what they're saying. I have a video where they're specifically talking about the way he's argued, and we're going to cover that one too. But does his demeanor burn bridges? Does the way he interacts burn bridges?
Yes. I don't think it's because he's angry. It's more of like a cult that like breaking reality.
Would say yes. So again, we're going with their thinking. So yes, it burns bridges. My next question will be bridges to where? Bridges to where? This is what I wrote down. Does Jimmy Dore's demeanor burn bridges? Question mark. What bridge to who is being burned? Because that's key. Because what if we're on some sort of military mission, and not even a military mission. Let's say some body who wants to get us is trying to the ruling class are trying to get us in a revolution. We're in the jungle.
Nice. Thank you. I wasn't.
And they're on the other side. And the only thing one thing we can stop them from chasing us, we can burn this bridge. Isn't that a good bridge to burn? Isn't that a good bridge to burn? So I'm going to put that out there in this conversation because there are some bridges that are good that we should be burning. Specifically, RBN believe one bridge that we should be definitely burning. This is the bridge to the Democratic Party. So when we're talking about these burning bridges, that has to be the framing, the lens. Bridge to where? Let's see, where was that? Okay, right here. Is the bridge that is being
should use
burned
StreamYard, yo.
a bridge to the Democratic Party? Yes or no? Is the bridge being burned a bridge to the media that supports the Democratic Party? Meaning, like, I'm burning a bridge between another media person, but that media person tells people to go and support the Democratic Party. You see, it's by way through this media person, it's the same thing. Back to the Democratic Party. So let's go to the next part is it burning bridges to I answered this question already. There are bridges that we do want to burn, and specifically any bridge to the Democratic Party. So ask yourself, so now let me go to this question, burning bridges. It was a second. Okay, it's down here. So let's ask yourself this. Let's say let's say Jimmy Dore does not exist. Right? Let's say Jimmy Dore.
Right.
Jimmy Dore does not exist.
Oh, thank you.
What would we collaborate
Bro, we got
on?
so many alert box going
What
on.
these
This is
people
too
are
much.
saying
Yeah, I'm using OBS
he's
Studio.
preventing some sort of coalitioning or some sort of building back up.
Just so you guys know,
part
I
of
have
the Bernie
no fucking clue
coalition.
what I'm doing. Absolutely no clue.
What would we
I don't
collaborate
know.
on with
I
these
really
people?
don't
The police
know.
state? Aren't they fine with funding them? Can we collaborate on that? What about the military-industrial complex? Aren't they fine with sending money to the Ukraine? So, okay, let's do another one. Support for the apartheid state of Israel. Are we collaborating on that? What about abandoning BDS? Is that something we're collaborating on? What would we collab on other than supporting the Democratic Party?
PayPal is in seriously hot water. Last week, the founder of PayPal, Elon Musk,
I guess that was it. Let's see what status quo is saying.
Before to go live.
Oh.
Get it?
Oh man.
All right, so we are going to talk about Rick Caruso. I know this is a local election here in Los Angeles. It does have national importance, though, for lots of reasons.
Man, I love
but before
Ron.
we can
He's
actually
like a
talk
little
about
too
all of these
nice.
things, we need to have an understanding,
know
I
what
think,
I'm saying.
of who Rick Caruso actually is. I doubt people outside of LA have paid much attention to this individual, but he is a guy that is obviously trying to buy the mayor's office for a lot of reasons. He is a real estate developer that's worth billions of dollars and has engaged in a lot of political corruption through the years. We can trace like packaged money. So, for example, this is how this works.
Do you guys notice
They
that
hire
like there's
a law
almost
firm,
like
either
a
like Meyer Brown, Paul Hastings.
there's almost like a spectrum to this shit. Like some people are and everyone's divided. Notice like how you can have like the neocons and the Trump Republicans kind of like mesh a little bit on at least like some issues like abortion and like religion and shit like that. But on the left side of things, there's nothing. Absolutely fucking nothing. We have the I don't want to say Jimmy Dore viewers, but like Revolutionary Blackout Network, I would say, is the most accurate of like this kind of like sect of people who, you know, there's people like TYT who are like absolute fucking shitlibs. Absolute fucking shitlibs. And then you have people that are kind of like in the middle. I would say that's like maybe breaking points. Like they're not even. It's like they're. Do you guys agree that there's like a sect of people that are like halfway between like our side and the like total shit liberally like Sam Cedar and the Majority Report? Like there's like mid-libs. Yes, mid-libs. That's what they're called. That makes the most sense to me. And it's, I don't know, it's just an interesting spectacle.
These are lobbyists.
Ron is just like, he plays like every side. I'm not like saying this is like a bad thing either. Like he's like not he's a really friendly guy. I'm not saying that we should be divided on any of these things, but goddamn. What does status quo have to offer these days? Yeah, and I'm not saying Ron plays all sides, and I'm not saying that like as a complete like bad thing either, because like he's a really really nice guy. So
Groups, but they're legal legal lobbyist groups, meaning they're attorneys that can handle both aspects of that. But they'll take money from their real estate developer clients. They'll package it together and they'll give it to politicians,
Yeah, that's
whether
exactly
it's
what
city
it is.
council members, mayors, whoever else. And they do this in exchange for land entitlement deals or changes in the building code, things that they need to get their developments made. And it's pretty much taken over not only Los Angeles, but the state, and it is corruption. And it is the reason that has its home since early 2000. This was this is one of
Are they going to bring up the tweet or what?
Since January, nothing already told it's like except
let's go. They were great.
the of faux gold sculpting here. The new shops arrived. Real estate developer Gary Crognati took neighbors to another Caruso retail enclave, the Grove, in the Fairfax district. We should be getting standing there by the fountain going. Can you believe this is coming to Glendale? Blah blah blah. So I want to scroll down for a second to this really Glendale City. Okay, Crognati said this to Glendale City Council members in their role as the city's redevelopment agency at a November 30th meeting. The council and mayor were considering Caruso's proposal to expand Americana at brand with another 60,000 to 100. Same thing I've ever read.
Well, it's a.
Believe this, Ron? Rick is going to fight the NIMBYs, affected by wealthy NIMBYs, to keep their communities segregated, and we get no housing built anywhere. Rick is going. Can you believe this, Ron? Rick is going to fight the NIMBYs and cut through the red tape to ensure that we can actually build affordable housing. This is the most insane thing I've ever read.
Well, it's a very long way of saying none. He said, what has he built for affordable housing? None.
He's built none, and so now we're supposed to trust that he's, but it's absolutely insane. He's basically saying it's not his fault because he's a single developer. Although and it's not because it's excessively difficult and driving up costs. It's none of these things that he's talking about. For fuck's sake, he got the land for free for the Americana. Free, 15 acres, handed to him with a bow tie.
Yeah, he's not going to fight the NIMBYs. He's career. Yeah. I think people are kind of anxious to get to.
It's an actual democracy of Southern California on behalf of West-based without sexual report about it. It's got corporate.
They've janked of all. There's not a federal one, not even.
I heard the word jank.
Jank Uyghur's logic makes no sense on multiple levels. First of all, it's like saying, so his big thing against Karen Bass, which by the way, I'm not a fan of Karen Bass. She's a lousy candidate. But his big thing against Karen Bass is, well, she's part of the Democratic establishment, no thanks, and I'm going to vote for Rick Caruso. Well, okay, she is part of the Democratic establishment, you're right, but that's like saying, I'm so tired of the Democratic establishment, I'm not voting for Liz Warren, but I am going to vote for Joe Manchin. Well, wait a second. They're both, how do you, that doesn't make, he's part of the Democratic establishment too, which in this case, same thing, because Caruso is a proud Democrat. And again, it's technically a nonpartisan office. They're just playing the fiddle to try to win. So it makes no sense on multiple levels. And again, here's the deal. He also said, Karen Bass is part of the status quo, she'll continue the status quo. Again, this isn't federal or state, this is local. So what is the status quo locally?
Rick Caruso is the status quo.
Exactly. Here's what happens, and this happens in other cities. This isn't unique to just LA. But here is basically a snapshot of what's been going on. Eric Garcetti has made this city into a developer's playground. And what that means...
I'd say he's made it worse, infinitely worse, but I'd say it even started before that, but carry on, I get your point.
Okay, so he has made it infinitely worse. What they do is they will do things like, okay, there's all these developers and they have their cronies, and they'll sell stuff off. They'll be like, hey, you should develop here. Check this out. This is a cool opportunity to whatever oligarch, wherever. And the oligarch says, okay, and they buy some stuff. Then what they do is they use their foot soldiers, aka the police, and they push all the homeless people into that area via sweeps and other brutal, inhumane practices. Then after a while, they go, this neighborhood's not working out for you the way we thought it would. We have no idea why. Gee shucks, we're sorry. Tell you what, we'll take it off your hands, but we're not going to pay what you paid us. I mean, we can't do that. But we'll take it off your hands. You only lose a little bit. The oligarch says, all right, fine, whatever. So they're out of the picture. The cronies in bed with the mayor, they got their property back. They are already in the green because they just sold it. They bought it back, but paid less for it. Now what do? They get their foot soldiers, aka the police, push the homeless people somewhere else, and they start developing. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. What do you think Rick Caruso's looking to do?
Well, he's part in. Yeah, no,
Why
but
do
he's
you think
he's already
spent
done that.
millions and millions of dollars, but now he can do it by himself? Same reason why Trump wanted to be president. He was tired of doing the purchasing. He wanted to be the guy who gets purchased for a change. Same thing here. He's going to do the exact same thing. Why do you think he spent millions and millions of dollars trying to get a job that pays $300,000 a year? He wants to make it even more of a developer's playground. He is the status quo times 20. He has deeper pocket, and he's even more corrupt than Eric Garcetti, which again, very, very
And
hard.
far wealthier.
So you have to ask yourself, why would someone like Cenk Uygur, supposed progressive hero Cenk Uygur, why would he support such a candidate? All these terrible things about the guy. He is the establishment you're saying you're trying to go in against. So either Cenk Uygur doesn't know about any of this, which I find hard to believe.
I find that hard to believe.
Let me finish, please. Or
Oh, Ron with the
maybe
snapback.
has some interest coming from the
Let me
developers.
finish, please.
Guess what?
You got it,
The
Ron.
developer
God damn.
gave Cenk Uygur a lot of freaking money. Katzenberg is a developer who gave Cenk Uygur millions. And I guarantee that they wouldn't mind seeing someone like Rick Caruso become mayor. So, I mean, this is very deceptive. I'm sorry. It is at best completely ignorant of what is going on locally, and it is at worst completely deceptive. And that guy has over 500,000 Twitter followers, and there's going to be some people now who think, well, I guess Rick Caruso's not so bad.
No, he's
They're going to
terrible.
go out and vote for him.
And the March for Lives these are dates when people have lost their lives through violence.
How many more views did you get? Oh, this is real progressives in action. Yes, deserve. I want to see the view count. Where do I get the view count? Oh, 1,000? I have a word problem. Damn. Shit makes national television and people don't even watch this fucking video.
Since I've been mayor, and one of the things that's been so inspiring about the March for Our Lives and the Parkland students is that it's young people and gun violence and activism, and that's exactly how I got my career in public service started. I started out in Braddock back in 2001 as a program director. I helped young people get their general equivalency degrees, help them get their jobs. Oftentimes their first jobs and their driver's license and bus passes, and really just kind of helping them, back into the job market. And two of my students were killed and shot to death, and that's what prompted me to run for mayor in the first place. That kind of gun violence, because I wanted to do something to address that. I wanted to do something that could be successful in that, and I'm proud to say, 4 terms as mayor. The thing that I'm most proud of is we've had 8 years without death in our community out of the 12 and a half years I've been mayor. And I'm proud of that legacy. I can say that I'm the only candidate for lieutenant governor that has had direct experience dealing with those kind of issues. And, I understand, and just like the Parkland students, it's young people and gun violence and activism, and that's what got me into my own career of public services, is the young people that campaigned for me, that made the difference in that first election, and the gun violence.
As far as speaking of campaigning, we vote tomorrow. Reminder to everyone in PA watching. I do see a number
Yeah,
of
dude,
you.
this is the night before the election. That's fucking crazy.
What has it been like campaigning this time around? What's different from the way it was last time?
There's just a lot more energy and enthusiasm.
Do you see how he rolls his eyes at her? This guy's a fucking douchebag.
We prided ourselves in this campaign to go out to as many counties as we possibly could. And we want to engage and meet voters where they're at. It's not just, well, we're only going to go to Philly, and we're only going to go to Pittsburgh, or we're only going to go to, it's like, Democrats are all across Pennsylvania, and they all want to be heard, they all want to participate in the conversation, and they all want to be part of this big dialogue that we're having. And last night we got in at 2 o'clock in the morning. We were in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and we've been to Fulton County, we've been to Bradford County, we've been to Wayne County and Elk County, and all these places, and it's never, I don't think we're going to convert Bradford County blue, but we just, as Democrats, can't lose 80 to 20 anymore, or 70 to 30. We have to be competitive in these places. We got to make the case, because we're on the right side of history, and we're on the right side of these issues.
Democrats are on the right side of history.
Deserve to be heard, and we've spent a lot of time. We were just in Philadelphia this past weekend, and just had a nice event in downtown Pittsburgh. So we certainly spent time in those places, but we're the only campaign that's the lieutenant governor that has run a truly statewide race, where we've been to all these different counties and hearing from Democrats all across the spectrum.
So what does the term progressive mean to you?
I think what it means to me, progressive just means we're all better off when we're all better off. And whatever those policies look like, that's what we support. And I think it's science-based.
What does that mean? What the fuck?
Evidence-based laws and takes on it. It's like, if we know if we pay somebody $8.50 or $9 an hour, we absolutely know they can't take care of themselves or their families, and we know that they're going to require all kinds of subsidies. They're going to require SNAP assistance. They're going to require Section. I mean, we know that to be true. So why would we not want to just pay people a living wage and build the dignity into it up front? To me, progressive also means a verb. Progressive's a verb to me. And that means like actually working, where your feet are, not where your mouth is. And that's what we've done. We've been working for the last 17 years in a community that was written off and forgotten and marginalized. It means embracing things that are self-evident, that healthcare is a fundamental human right, that we all deserve, if we're going to work 40 hours a week, we all deserve to live in dignity. We all deserve to not be locked up for something as petty and simple as...
So there it is. Support Medicare for all. And then... Sorry, let's see what's going on here. That's just unfortunate. That's just unfortunate. God damn, dude, this game's fucking... I gotta get up early, so I'm not gonna get this.
Is, say marijuana. We all deserve to not be persecuted based on our sexual orientation or how we present ourselves to the world or our immigration status, or we all need to realize that climate change is real and we need to take the appropriate steps. We all, it should be self-evident that we shouldn't be giving the richest corporations and the richest citizens a $1.5 trillion tax cut when we have students all across the country drowning in school loan debt, making it impossible for them to get on with their lives and choose a career that they really want as opposed to one that can pay the bills. And these things don't seem revolutionary or even progressive. They just seem common sense. Like they're just overwhelmingly common sense. And that's how I would describe progressive, because it's just common sense decency where, the welfare of the collective is paramount. And that's the lens how I view it.
Right on. And you're going to be able to see all the questions and everything after the show. But a lot of people, it looks like, are asking about fracking. It seems that...
Here we go.
That is... and when I announced you were coming on, that was every single message I got was asking to clarify your stance on fracking.
Yeah, fracking. No, I don't support fracking at all, and I never have. And
Yeah, Andy, this is really old. This is like 4 years old.
I've signed the No Fossil Fuels money pledge, and I have never received a dime from any natural gas or oil company whatsoever. Here in Braddock, I live across the street from a steel mill, and that steel mill has been in operation here since 1875. And because of foreign competition, it's struggling, and the jobs and livelihood of nearly 3,000 families is contingent on those mills staying open. And they came up with an idea where they would drill 2 wells on their industrial site. Not in my community, by the way, several communities down, but not in my community. So these 2 wells, and because one of their largest single expenses is the natural gas to power the blast furnaces. And without this step, without drilling their own wells for gas, the economic viability of these 3 mills that it's connected to are in grave jeopardy, and that's 3,000 union family-sustaining jobs that are at risk. And I said, in a state that already has 10,000 wells, I think that's a strong trade-off for 2 wells to save the jobs of 3,000 men and women and union jobs and all the people that depend on them. So that's not pro-fracking. That's saying I'm pro-union, I'm pro-family, I'm pro-steel, and I think the economic viability of these, and because one of their largest single expenses is the natural gas to power the blast furnaces. And without this step, without drilling their own wells for gas, the economic viability of these 3 mills that it's connected to are in grave jeopardy, and that's 3,000 union family-sustaining jobs that are at risk. And I said, in a state that already has 10,000 wells, I think that's a strong trade-off for 2 wells to save the jobs of 3,000 men and women and union jobs and all the people that depend on them. So that's not pro-fracking. That's saying I'm pro-union, I'm pro-family, I'm pro-steel, and I think that was a compelling argument in order to do that. So.
Do you feel that if we went more energy dependent and things like that would create even more jobs?
Absolutely. I would love to have us transition to be a completely renewable energy economy. I was proud to participate with the Environmental Defense Fund back in 2010. And we had a campaign with the Steelworkers and the Sierra Club, the Brooklyn Alliance, to help promote cap and trade legislation. But unfortunately, the Republicans killed that, as we know. So from an environmental standpoint, we have to acknowledge that. And I would love a transition to green energy, and I think we need to make those important investments. But I also think that there's a way of life, and there's thousands of jobs at stake, and I think there's a reality that exists there that I could not turn my back on the union men and women there and say, my opposition to something does not outweigh your right to earn and provide food, shelter, and a living that takes care of you and your family, and that's the only way of life that you've known.
So, and being in Pennsylvania, we are second. Texas is the #1 state with pipelines, and we're #2, which is crazy. I didn't actually know that. But I went to a place outside of Lancaster called Conestoga, and when you go there, you see pipelines everywhere. They're on people's property. They are going under a school.
You're referencing the Mariner East, too?
Yes.
Yeah, I actually toured the Mariner East pipeline as a candidate, and I was truly appalled by what I saw. I've never seen anything like it. It was surreal. I saw people with little children, and their backyards were torn up and they were fenced off, and they didn't have any rights. And when we drove up to one of the sites, they were taking our picture, and we were under surveillance, and they wrote down our license plate, and they made a bunch of calls, and they were looking at us through binoculars like we were in North Korea or something. It was completely disorienting and disturbing, the way we were treated when I was on this tour, and it's just, I'm appalled. And they have evacuation procedures where they say, don't call anybody, don't do anything, just run away from the pipeline for 1.5 miles because a cell phone could activate a trigger an explosion. I mean, just surreal kind of stuff out of some Orwellian kind of nightmare. And it's like, I just couldn't believe that this was happening in our country. And I just can't believe that they're digging up people's backyards and they're shipping this dangerous substance through this aging pipeline that's 80 years old without telling everybody. It's appalling. It's absolutely appalling. And every elected official in Pennsylvania, I think it should be mandatory that they all go on that.
Elon Musk warned the world that the company's new policies, quote, go against everything that I believe in. So it's not surprising that in just the past year, PayPal stock prices have fallen by 2/3, and their reputation being irreversibly damaged. But PayPal wasn't always in shambles. Just a couple of years ago, and PayPal was one of the most powerful companies in the world, with its original founding team spawning the richest 13 men in Silicon Valley, with all of these men leaving PayPal to create new companies like Tesla, LinkedIn, Yelp, and even YouTube. And PayPal was the creation of all of these top minds, becoming instrumental in creating the online landscape we know today. However, in just the last 2 years, this is a whole different story, with their stock price falling from over $290 a share to just $80. This is a drop of over 70%, which is why PayPal, a company that has continually grown, has now finally had to scale back their goals for the next few years, admitting that they're not going to reach their future targets. So what caused such a powerful company to come crashing down so quickly, and why has the public turned against PayPal? Well, to answer this, we need to understand what changed to PayPal. You see, one of the key reasons PayPal was originally so successful was due to the founders of PayPal, Peter Thiel, Max Levchin, and Luke Nosk. Known as Coinfinity in 1998, the company would go on to merge with Elon Musk's competitor company, X.com, where it was renamed as PayPal. All the people behind this new merged company were extremely ambitious men, many of whom would later become billionaires. With their collective ambition, intellect, and vision, they all saw immense potential for PayPal, and it was this vision for the company that would transform the world. Because before PayPal existed, there was no way of buying things online without physical checks and money orders. But PayPal solved this problem without inventing their own currency like their competitors. Instead, they worked through institutions that everyone already trusted: email, banks, and the US dollar. And it worked spectacularly well. As more and more people discovered PayPal, more and more money would flow through it. But it wasn't just the ambition that grew PayPal. Much of their success back then was built up from their reputation. Part of this was because of their customer service and their long-term thinking. This combining force to do the utmost for their customers in a long-term vision meant that PayPal would be one of the first companies in the world to use captchas to prevent online fraud. We're talking about 8 years before Google would even use them, and it was these sorts of genius innovations that would keep PayPal's customers safe. But as the years went on and the founder's vision for the company faded, the upper management of PayPal became increasingly complacent, and big problems were bubbling up from the surface. However, meanwhile, things seemed great. The company was exploding in growth. Just 3 years after its founding, the company was handling around $3 billion in payments with around 189,000 transactions a day. And yet, even with these astounding figures, PayPal decided that they were going to take the company public. It might have seemed like an odd move at first, but you see, PayPal had never actually been profitable, and they needed these venture capital investments to survive. Because like all big tech companies, PayPal was trying to scale up as quickly as possible and become irreplaceable in the booming online markets. And this is why the potential of PayPal was just so incredible, because they were perfectly positioned to have a monopoly on transactions over the entire internet. With just minuscule fees, they could make billions in profits. And this hope fueled massive investments. Within PayPal's first day on the stock exchange, they had already raised over $61 million. But this wasn't even the biggest vote of confidence PayPal would receive. Just a year later, eBay bought PayPal for $1.5 billion in stock. And soon enough, PayPal became eBay's recommended transaction service, letting them tap into a mountain of guaranteed business. Because back in the early 2000s, PayPal and eBay's growth were following the exact same trajectory. Both were revolutionary startups that were taking the world by storm, and together they would be unstoppable. PayPal would give eBay the perfect protection for their customers, all while revolutionizing online shopping for the masses. And in return, PayPal would expand its reputation, growing its user base by millions. And whilst this move would be incredibly important for PayPal's success, this would also be the first reason for PayPal's downfall. But the consequences of this would be slow to show. However, to anyone looking, it would have been clear from the start, because when eBay bought the company, nearly all the upper management jumped ship. Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, pretty much all of the men who had founded PayPal and turned it into $1 billion company just vanished, showing that they just didn't have any interest in eBay. Instead, they would use the hundreds of millions generated from the sale to invest into other companies and ideas. And so when PayPal fell under the control of eBay, the company would radically change. But for now, this didn't matter. Under eBay, PayPal would slowly grow larger and larger. It was a slow pace of growth, but what it did give PayPal was an incredibly strong user base. eBay slowly spread PayPal across the world. When eBay grew, PayPal grew. And by the time 2010 rolled around, PayPal had 100 million users in 190 different markets, using 25 separate currencies. But the ticking time bomb was about to explode. The growth was catching up to the company. And by early 2010, PayPal was getting too big. Not for themselves, of course, but for eBay. By the end of 2012, PayPal accounted for 40% of eBay's total revenue, processing over $145 billion in transactions. So in 2014, the inevitable happened and eBay split from PayPal, becoming its own independent company. But when it became independent, PayPal would suddenly have a lot more problems to deal with, and it was these exact problems that would be instrumental in PayPal's imminent collapse. The first of these problems was security. PayPal had been dealing with fraud problems on its platform for years. Now, as we mentioned before, PayPal was inventing a lot of great protection methods for their customers. But one thing PayPal couldn't deal with was the rise in cybercrime. In fact, very early on, they were losing millions of dollars a year to small attacks, leading them to invest heavily in security measures. But over the years, some of these measures haven't been enough and have actually introduced new weaknesses. In 2014, for example, researchers found that PayPal's two-factor authentication system had been easily exploitable since it was introduced 6 years earlier. It all revolved around PayPal's mobile app. When someone with two-factor authentication logged on, the app would believe they were properly logged on for a moment before demanding the second level of security. But if you put the phone in airplane mode during this period, then turned it off again a second later, it would completely fool the system into thinking that you had logged on. And this bug was around for years, without anyone at PayPal catching on. And the researchers who discovered it were easily able to write a script that replicated it, making the process that much easier to exploit. This security problem was a warning to PayPal that they couldn't take security too lightly. But of course, they didn't listen. And this had an awful effect on the reputation of security and convenience that PayPal had been built on. Every security breach and weaknesses that were found shattered from its reputation. And this wasn't the only thing slowly eating away at PayPal. On top of
if you want to watch this, I